guys. So I am in an incredibly casual mood today. I did my makeup so I didn't look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, although this lighting is questionable. And yeah, we're sitting on my floor because that's just what felt right today. So I'm gonna kind of talk through July in the sense of books, what I've been reading in June, what the intentions are I'm setting for July, the July book, all the things. And this lighting is flippin' fabulous. All right, so first off, let's talk about July's book, The Hate You Give. So this has been adapted into a film. If you haven't seen the trailer for that, I will link that down below. It looks flippin' fabulous. I think it was filmed in Atlanta, so I'm sure there are a few of you who are watching this that worked on it. But yeah, I've heard so many things about this book. In general, I've heard a lot of people reading it. I'm definitely going through a phase right now where I'm reading a lot of books that I heard other people have been reading, or I'd heard about before, and I'm just kind of getting through my list, which is what I'm going to talk through next. But I wanted to read more. I wanted to be more intentional about reading, so that is kind of the goal right now with that. So The Hate Give is the book for the month. It is about 16-year-old Star Carter moves between two worlds, a poor black neighborhood where she lives and the fancy suburban prep school she attends. The uneasy balance between these worlds is shattered when Star witnesses the fatal shooting of her best friend, Khalil, at the hands of a police officer. Khalil was unarmed. Soon afterwards, Khalil's death is a national headline. Some are calling him a thug, maybe even a drug dealer and a gangbanger. Star's best friend at school suggests he may have had it coming. When it becomes clear the police have little interest in investigating the incident, protesters take to the streets and Star's neighborhood becomes a war zone. What everyone wants to know is what really went down that night, and the only person alive who can answer that is Star. What Star does or does not say could destroy her community. It could also endanger her life. Angie Thomas's Syrian debut about an extraordinary girl and extraordinary circumstances addresses issues of racism, police violence with intelligence, heart, and unflinching honesty. So, the trailer looks phenomenal for this. The cast looks great. It looks like it's going to be a good movie. And yeah, I'm really excited to read that. But keeping in mind with that, talking about last month's book and everything else, I've been really struggling to find time, make time, be intentional about reading. For the most part, I've always been somebody who reads more in an escape way, and so I go through phases where I read more or where I read less, and I just don't always build in that time. And then I start to feel like if I'm like, oh, I should read before bed, I'll kind of start to feel like I have to read before bed, and then I don't necessarily want to read before bed, and it's just a thing. So I've been working on my morning routine. And that being said, I'm going to kind of, once I've got it more in a flow for me, I'm gonna film it for you guys. But starting, you know, getting up, moving, maybe being more intentional with yoga in the morning, that's kind of something I've been reintroducing into my life. And then starting my day, even my work day, with reading. So kind of dividing it between 30 minutes towards maybe something that's more fiction and 30 minutes towards something that's non-fiction. Not necessarily that that's what I have to do. If I want to read more of one or the other, I will, but just because I haven't been reading at all, and I do my best when I start in a quiet place in the morning. I've learned that for a while now from a couple of different things that I've experienced, but I just know that when I start my morning with that intentional like solitude, meaning I'm not talking, I'm not interacting, I'm just kind of in a little bit of a bubble initially, I do a lot better. So I've been trying to really deal in that way, or to kind of create that space for myself. So instead of immediately jumping on emails or social media or whatever, so for me, the July kind of challenge and goal in that way is to just kind of create that space of like intentionalness in my day, of being intentionally quiet, and then also just to be more active, to try to build a more active lifestyle. So there's no actual like link for this month's challenge, because I feel like I want it to be more genuine. I want it to be something that we all kind of incorporate. And that might mean offering to go for walks with friends more, so that that's becoming something that, you know, you're saving money but you're still being active, parking the car farther, just whatever it looks like in your life to be more active in that way. That is kind of the July goal. So it's really working and focusing on my mental and physical health this month. But I did read a few books over June. I actually haven't finished this yet. This was the June book, Little Fires Everywhere, and I'm about halfway through. So I've gotten more through it in the last week or so since I've really been building my like time. I'm gonna kind of lean back here. Since I've kind of set that intentional like morning system, I've definitely gotten through more of this and I've been enjoying it. But I don't know, it's just one of those things. I really like it so far. It's interesting in the way that like I'm building from the like fire at the beginning. So we're halfway through. Everybody's got that backstory. There's a lot going on, but I still feel like you get a really good chance to know each of the characters. There's nobody that it feels like is too far off. Everybody is kind of building in a way that you're understanding all the people, and it's not just fully one person's perspective, which is interesting because I tend to read a lot of books that are like a one person perspective. So when I finish this, I will do a full breakdown on it. But if you guys have already finished it, let me know what you think in the comments below. I did start a Goodreads group to kind of have those discussions and chats as we go about it. And I'm trying to make it a point to be able to, obviously read more of the stuff that I've talked about reading. But I have been reading a few other things. I have a couple books on the go right now. I did actually finish one book last month, which was Everless, and it is by Sarah Holland. And this is the book that really started the whole idea behind the book club, because I have stacks and stacks. I literally have 3 or 4 stacks on the floor right now to talk about, but I just have books everywhere and I don't know where they came from or when I bought them, because I'm notorious for buying books from Sam's when we go. 2 more this week. And yeah, so I liked this one. It was definitely more of that sci-fi-ness. I mentioned it in the books in my summer list to read last month. So this is definitely one that I finished. I said I would read it on a rainy day, and that's exactly what I did. It's a bit more sci-fi, it's a bit more young adult in that way, but it's also one where I kind of was reading it and I thought, this has probably got another book. This has probably got another book. This is probably not the only one, and it wasn't. Of course, it's not the only version. So this is the debut novel for Sarah, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. If you like that more fictional type, A Court of Roses, I think that's the name of that book. There's a few stuff like that. It's not necessarily Hunger Games-y, but it kind of is. It's a mash of all of that. So there's not kids killing kids, but there's definitely a bit more witchcraft and deception and things that you just don't know until you get to it and you're like, oh, okay, that's where we're going with this story. So I think she definitely set it up really well. I enjoyed it. I think the next one comes out beginning of next year, so I'm excited to read that. And then I have 3 other ones on the go that I'm currently making my way through. I snagged this one at Target the other day. I was trying to figure out where I got it from. Leave Your Mark by Eliza Licht. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. She's a global fashion marketing and communications executive and a former voice behind the wildly popular DKNY PR Girl Twitter. So I'm always reading, I don't know if it's necessarily self-help books, but I love reading career books, so that's one of the current ones. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I've heard Anna from the Anna Edit talking about this a ton, so I picked it up. And so far so good. I have been slowly making my way through it. Like I said, I'm trying to make more, be more intentional in my routine about having designated time for reading, and that's one of those. And then the Archetype Diet. I mentioned this in, actually, I can't remember if I put this in the vlog or not. I filmed it. I don't remember if I kept it or not, but I mentioned that I got this book. I try to stay up to date, I guess, on all of the books that are really coming out and are topics of wellness conversation, if for no other reason than I just want to know, and I want to be able to educate myself, and I want to be able to have conversations about it. And if you guys come to me with something, I just want to be aware. So this has been super interesting so far, and just kind of giving me a new perspective on my relationship with food and how I'm dealing with it and how you interact with it and the psychology behind all of that. So I've already kind of identified my archetype, and now I just really need to kind of dive back into this one because it's super fascinating. And then I picked up 2 books at Sam's the other day. I went with Mom, and that was more so I'm notorious for buying books when we go out. That's just the thing. I always look at the book section at Sam's, and I've seen these a couple of times, but I was with Mom, so I threw them in the cart. And it is Nicholas Sparks' The Wedding. I haven't read a Nicholas Sparks book in quite a while, so I grabbed this simply because I thought, why not? It's a Nicholas Sparks book. And this one is, after 30 years, Wilson Lewis is forced to face a painful truth. His wife, Jane, has fallen out of love with him, and it is entirely his fault. Despite the shining example of his in-laws, Noah and Allie Calhoun, and their 50-year love affair, Wilson is unable to express his true feelings. And then it keeps talking. So, I have no idea what this is going to be like. I didn't really read much other than like the back of it, and thought it could be interesting based off the Notebook. Some of his books are hit or miss, and I feel like they've adapted a good chunk of them into films, but I rewatched The Longest Ride recently, and I thought that I would check this out because it's been a while since I've read a Nicholas Sparks book. And then this one is called Carnival. I think that's how you say it. I always want to say Carnival when I see it. It's not Carnival though. And it's a New York Times bestseller. So this has another book after the first one. It looks like another young adult one, and it is about Scarlett Dragna has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful, cruel father. Now Scarlett's father has arranged for a marriage for her, and Scarlett thinks her dreams of seeing Carnival, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. So it keeps going past that. But yeah, I have a couple of books to be read. There are a few more on the floor over here, and then I have multiple books on the go right now. So it is definitely going to be a month of reading, but my hope is that kind of building that into my intentional schedule, I will get some more reading done. And yeah, so I was going to put up a video on juices this morning, and I'm going to wait and do that a little bit later. Because I only really had 2 of the 3 down that I was feeling like sharing. But yeah, when this video goes live, it will be my birthday. So I officially am going to be 28. It's another year in the world, thank goodness. But yeah, I am raising money for a cause. I'm putting that link in the description box below if you guys want to support. It's the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, I think is the technical term for it. Near and dear to my heart. Mental health awareness is a big thing in my life. It's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and suicide prevention is one of those things for sure. So yeah, I'm raising money for that. If you guys want to donate, or if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description box below. And depending on my vibes for my birthday, you'll hear all about this in Wednesday's vlog. But it's been a weird week. Birthdays are weird for me. So I'm planning on vlogging my birthday, and that will be next Sunday's video if I do vlog it. If not, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is all I have for today. So book of the month, The Hate You Give. And we are also working on being more active and being, figuring out how you can make time for certain things that you're neglecting. So if that's something you really wanted to do more of, or you're just not sure about, figure out how you can build that into your routine and make time to do that. And yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. I am off to go edit and take photos and do all the lovely things. I am rocking some seriously lazy hair today, and this is my lazy summer makeup. If you guys want a tutorial on this, let me know. My go-to glowy skin combo should be on my IGTV by now. I'm gonna put it up tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, I think I can link that down below. I will link that down below. But if you want a tutorial on this look, let me know. It's nothing new and crazy, but if you want to know about it, I'm happy to make it for you. And yeah, I love you guys. You matter to me. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be on Wednesday. Bye guys.